Hey gentlemen, here's our job. Looking at 60 feet of French drain around this garage. I'm going to grab the 3 downspouts in the garage and run the discharge 85 feet out to the front. This is all going to be open here, so we have to cut this a little bit. It's all pavers. I mean, we can either just pull them, or if they cut them flush so it all looks nice and clean. We definitely want to open ribbon stone right through here. All right. Along this way, wrap around the back of the garage here. There is a downspout that was into that rain barrel. We're going to grab that as we're getting out of here. This is much higher as the water's going in this way. So I have to pull the cinder blocks. There's a set here and a set over there. Right, we're going to have to probably drop a lot of this grade because it is so much higher. That's why the water's going in.
This is going to be a great video. We're going to show you how to put a foundation French drain around an outbuilding or garage so that you don't have water intrusion. Nice cut, Juan. Nice. That's about as straight as you can freehand a saw.
He drew the line himself. He drew the line, he didn't.
No, that came out real nice. You do not want your foundation drain to be below the footer. We have a 42-inch footing that this garage is built on, so we can put slope on this all the way around the garage. If you do not have that, just stay level until you get to your discharge line. The guys did a really nice job. Cut a straight line for those brick pavers. Removing the base material right now. Incredible work. Incredible attention to detail. You got the French drain below the cold joint. What I'm referring to when I call it the cold joint, you have a pour that is the footer, and then you go ahead and lay block or some sort of foundation material on top of that. That's the cold joint. All this hard work can't be for nothing. We're going to show you how to do this foundation French drain so that it lasts a lifetime. So this neighbor pulled out all their trees and shrubs. They're going to have new landscape. They're going to put privacy hedges through here. We're going to build this to where we're going to have protection against the roots. We're going to put in some root prevention. We're going to be battling the roots. We're going to run our copper sock in this French drain trench. Now this won't give you any protection today, but next year when they plant those plants, and as those plants get bigger through the years, this copper sock will work amazing. It works better and better the more time that passes. Copper leaches these ions into the soil. The tree roots hate it. The plants just hate it. They just literally go the other way. It'll push roots away from your French drain system. So Dirk is just taking scissors. He's cutting our copper sock because we're going to lay this on the bottom of the trench. We're going to open it up. We're going to be able to cover more surface area that way with the copper. Now you can slip your downspout pipe inside this sock so that the tree roots don't wrap themselves around your downspout pipe and over time crushing it as the roots get bigger and bigger. That's how we use this. We're putting it on top of we're sliding our pipes inside the sock when we're running solid discharge lines by trees or downspouts by trees. And then we're cutting it, we're opening it up and laying it in the bottom of the French drain and pinning it to the side of the trench that the trees are coming from. Copper is your #1 defense And if you need protection today because the trees are in, they're aggressively growing, sprinkle some copper sulfate in the bottom of your trench, lay this copper on top of it. That way you don't have to continue treatment. Just that one treatment is all that's needed.
This is 100% pure copper. It'll take about a year before it's working really well. It doesn't work the day you put it in. It has to leach into the soil.
So the start of the French drain is right here. Then as we come around, the French drain gets deeper. The guys do put slope on these drains. They're coming around. We're going to have some issues here. We got these cables that hold up this pole. Look at all the wires to that pole. What a spider web. But guess what? We're happy. Utilities are in the air. That's a good thing. We just have to dig around these. All right, the guys are doing a really good job. So we're going to discourage the roots. We got our copper sock up against the wall that we know the roots are coming from that direction. It's the only way they can come from. We're also putting it on the bottom of the trench. All right, so the copper is going to take a little while to work because it's got to leach in the soil, and that just takes time. There's nothing we can do to accelerate that besides put copper sulfate crystals. Dirk is putting the copper sulfate crystals down. This works immediate. Now as soon as we get some rain, this will soak into the soil. This will push the roots away. And then by the time it dissipates and there's nothing left of the copper sulfate crystals in the soil, the copper will have leached its way into the soil. So this will be the last time that we have to do a copper sulfate treatment. It doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any better than this right here. To discourage roots, 100% pure copper, along with copper sulfate crystals. Beautiful job.
What the pros do and what the pros know. If you apply copper sulfate at the time of installation, you put a copper sock in, you're going to have a foundation French drain that needs no maintenance. It never has any clogs. It's going to last forever. The copper sock will take decades and decades and decades to dissolve to nothing. It's going to last several lifetimes.
So on the discharge line, Dirk's putting this copper sock over it. We're sliding it over a dual wall culvert pipe. We don't want the roots to crush it when you go by really big shade trees. And at the connection points, we don't want the roots to find their way into the drainage system and clog it. 100% pure copper. This is a 4-inch pipe. Now this copper sock doesn't filter out sediment. What it does is it works as a root preventer. You're trying to prevent the roots from finding their way into your drain system. Roots are the #1 killer of any drain system. You could spend all kinds of money on good materials and a quality installation, and it's all for nothing once a really big shade tree or a cedar hedge finds its way into your system, clogs it, and you no longer can get the water to where you're daylighting it. That is right.
can't believe how strong it is.
We got to do something to combat those roots. %, pure copper. Nothing discourages tree roots from clogging your drainage system as much as copper. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. Once it's been in about a year, this will start working for you. And it works better and better each and every year. Leave yourself some extra copper so you can pull this over your coupler. Right here is where the roots are going to clog your system. They always find a way. Now we're going to use tile tape and then we're going to pull the copper over it. Now a lot of you guys can call overkill, but we like overkill. When the only thing that can take out our French drain system is tree roots, there's no other liabilities in what we build. It's the tree roots that will cause us problems. We use really good materials. We build everything to last a lifetime. Take care of the tree roots. Your system will work flawlessly. This is an extra sticky, super stretchy tape that we use for connecting pipe. This is not like Gorilla Tape and it's not like duct tape. This has been specially formulated just for drainage. You can use it when it's wet, you can use it when it's cold in the snow. We've shown you guys that. Oh, I like that. Big old wig of copper over that coupler.
There we go.
Never gonna have any issues. Now there's a connection that's gonna last a lifetime. Beautiful job. Really nice work. So the guys built a beautiful perimeter French drain. This is going to be an open French drain. It's going to look amazing. The guys are also grabbing up the downspouts. They're going to run the downspouts on a solid pipe. We're going to filter out all the leaves. We're going to get a sediment trap on that line. We don't want any clogs. We build a system that's easy to maintain. So here's our discharge line. We got these cedar. The neighbors got cedar. Tall privacy in the backyard. There's plants on the side. Trees in the front yard. Give this a miter cut and we're just going to daylight it out here. The water's just going to run right down this apron right to the storm drain. We're going to put that water in its place. I wanted to show you guys the tree roots so that you can appreciate what we're dealing with. You know, you can see all the tree roots.
That custom sock made of copper is going to keep all these roots out of the discharge line.
Look at this. Look at the roots here, guys. Remember, I tell you, 50 feet from any big shade tree, there's roots. They go under the sidewalk. They go through the front yard. Look at the roots. Look at these roots in this front yard. You think these roots would clog your drain system? I know they will. The closer we get to the tree, the the worse it gets. The guys are chopping and digging through the roots. They're all coming from that tree in the median. So the copper sulfate will work immediately, and then the copper sock by next year will be working really well for us, and it'll take care of us for decades and decades. Man, the guys are rocking and rolling. Look at this. This is going to be an open French drain. They're going to close this up, and they left room so they can put stone on top. They got two 4-inch pipes. Roof runoff system, that's a solid pipe. We got our sediment trap so we can catch all the shingle gravel. It won't fill our line. Over here we're going to merge our solid discharge line with our two perforateds. Always stand on your French drain pipe so that the rocks don't go underneath it and push the pipe up. You want to keep the pipe on the bottom of the trench. The guys are working smarter, not harder over here. All right, so the guys went ahead and they put the copper sulfate in there. The copper sulfate is going to work immediately. It's going to push the roots away. They're going to want nothing to do with that copper sulfate. Then we're going to throw our discharge line in. We have our copper sock on our discharge. That way this won't need any future treatment. Within a year, that copper is going to be working for us. It's going to take us home from there. These trees are very aggressive. These roots are the worst. Cedar and willow trees, they're the worst. In the comments, tell me some of the other trees, wherever you happen to be installing, that you deal with. These are our worst. Willow trees and these cedar trees. Of course, the big shade trees are no picnic either. We're going to generously put this copper sulfate in. It's going to make those roots very unhappy. This is not going to be a problem. You know, it's not going to be a health hazard or anything like that. This is a solid discharge line. We're going to bury this. This is just going to leach away into the subsoil. And by the time it's completely gone, there's going to be traces of that. There's going to be traces of that in the soil for a couple of years. And by then, this copper sock is going to be doing its magic.
We have an easy way of connecting our collection system to our discharge line. We're going to show you guys that right now. When you're building a collection system to a discharge line, you always want to have a basin in between the collection system and your discharge. You want to be able to access the system. If a critter climbs up into your discharge line and builds a nest, you want to be able to easily access it, jet it out, do whatever it is you're going to do, run your garden hose through it, push your garden hose through it. All these things are possible as long as you leave an access point. Now, the guys used the 4-way connect, and I just love what they did. They have a downspout coming off the garage. It's wide with the other downspout line that's coming around the garage that picked up the other downspouts. They tied in one of the bottom French drain pipes to the bottom connection of the 4-way connect. They tied the top with the downspouts. You can see this beautiful connection. And then they used the copper sock. You know, obviously we use the copper sulfate crystals too because we want root protection right now. By the time that leaches away and there's no more traces of it in the soil, the copper will be doing its magic for us. If you found any of this information helpful, give us a thumbs up. It supports the channel. If you have any questions regarding this installation, leave them in the comments section. If there's a video you would like me to make, leave that suggestion in the comments. I'm your host, Robert Sherwood, and until the next video.